LeBron, it strikes me that this moment has come to you in many ways, but it's a moment that it feels like you were anticipating to some extent. How does it feel to face this right now?
You know what, Jason, I don't want to say that I was anticipating it. I just want to say that we've always been in this position. We've always strived. We've always had to plan for this moment. It's something that I've always had a passion about, and that's, letting people know and having people to understand how important we are as Black America, and the powers and the creativity and the language and everything and the struggle that we've had for so long. And for me to have the brands that I have and having Spring Hill and having Uninterrupted, and now today having a nonprofit organization, and we are more than a vote, it's allowing people to now really sense what we've been striving to do from the very beginning. So it's come, you always talk about timing, and I guess the timing is perfect for what we've always wanted people to understand what we're all about as a company and as a brand and as individuals.
What has it felt like to you these last 3 months? I mean, first of all, the season stopping abruptly, within a week or two of when we last saw each other. When we left off, we were talking about the playoffs. We'll talk a little basketball later. But the pandemic and then the killing of George Floyd, just walk me through how that's felt. It must have been tremendously traumatic.
You come to the point where the playoffs are almost around the corner, and then, it stopped because of a world pandemic and COVID-19. So, we just all had to be at bay and just kind of wait around and see what was going on and see what was happening, but understanding that the health of, of every individual is so much more important at that point in time than worrying about, chasing a ring or chasing a championship. Because there were lives at risk and no one had an answer to it. And then bring us up to speed to the George Floyd killing, and just seeing that video and seeing, how many people were hurt, not only in Minnesota, in Minneapolis, but all over the world, and especially in the Black community, because we've seen this over and over and over, about police brutality and the things that goes on in the inner city when being, racially profiled as an African-American Black man or as a Black woman, and things that's going on. So, it's been a lot that's going on in 2020, and we're still trying to make the most of it and continue to be powerful and continue to be heard, and using this opportunity for the better of change at the end of the day.
Tell me what you've been doing and the opportunities that you see, and maybe some of the conversations you've been having both in the shutdown and maybe more recently when it comes to, activating around this huge existential moment we seem to be feeling.
Yeah, thank you, Jason. Thank you for having us again. I think for us as a company, this is a big moment for us. We worked very hard over the last 4.5 to 5 years, really building and shaping our company. And now we bring it to this moment. We're able to bring our 3 companies together and create the Spring Hill company. But the truth is, we weren't anticipating this moment, but what this moment has brought to the forefront is exactly what our mission stands for. Our mission at our company is about empowering greatness in every individual. When you think about that word empowering and you think about what Black people need is empowerment. And we've always tried to empower all creators, and that starts with all of the people who work at our company. We really strive to empower them. And the truth is, now everyone is talking about diversity and having Black executives at their company because of George Floyd's killing has led Black people to the streets to not only talk about social reform, but political reform and economic reform. And the truth is, at our company, we've just always been that. It's a company started and founded by 2 African-American men from the inner city that, social, political, and economic oppression is just what we lived with it. We just did it.
And LeBron, it seems to be a moment where we're all viewing activism in a much broader sense. And I wonder, as a longtime activist, as someone who calls back in the interview that you and I had, the 3 of us had in February, you talked about Muhammad Ali, an amazing activist in his own right. Now, activism is something that we see everywhere. Is this a moment, a special moment, and an important moment for activism in your mind?
I think it's a special moment in the sense that you can be heard. Activism and activists have always been around, but people had a closed ear and a closed mind, and didn't want to recognize and didn't want to hear and didn't want to be knowledgeable about what they were speaking, where they were coming from, the passion that they were speaking with. Now it's being heard. People can be heard. Black Americans, African Americans, can be heard. Both men and women can be heard of what they're passionate about and the calling for help and the calling for we're just tired. So, I don't want to say activism is something that's, now everyone's doing it. No, it's always been around. But, in the case of George Floyd, in the case of so many other innocent lives being taken away, they've put up a stand, and now, we're being heard, and everyone is being heard. Not only, from what Muhammad Ali was saying, there's so many that came before him and so many after him, but even the local people, the people in the community, because those are the real ones, the people that's in the communities, that's living and walking those streets and being racially profiled and being judged every day that they walk in their cities. They're the ones that need to be heard, and they're being heard right now, and it's great to see.